Hello and welcome to Designs by Tana, located in Crowley, Texas. We're just south of Fort Worth and north of Burleson. We are doing our first video today, so bear with us. Just trial and practice. We're going to begin discussing Learn to Color workbook and the product, art supply, and products that we need to do the coloring on fabric. The Learn to Color workbook is a free download on our website at designsbytana.com. You can download it by typing in the SKU number of 1400W. This is what you're looking for. It's approximately 39 pages. It's got lots of the information we're sharing with you tonight. It also has practice exercises that I strongly suggest that you take a few minutes and work on them on your own time to be familiar with your crayons, colored pencils, and the steps and techniques that we're using. The first product that I'm going to introduce tonight is one of my favorite for this project, and that is the Vanilla Grunge by Moda Fabrics. It is SKU number 30150-91, and I've got a smaller piece here to show you. It has this wonderful gray stripe, a white screen print, and a tan. And when we're doing our blending and shading, that's going to allow for an extra technique for it to pop up and create different effects on everybody's fabric. So not everybody's artwork would be the same if you're using this. This is my number one go-to fabric. This is also the one we're using in the mice project. The second item that I strongly recommend for you to purchase, if you don't already have one, tracing on the windowsill is going to become challenging with some of these projects. This is the Simple Artograph Light Tracer Box number 2. It's also available on our website. When we sell out of this project this time, we will not be replenishing it. It's a simple 10 by 12 portable light box. And I'm going to move it back and show you. It's very easy to use. It's got a nice angle to it. Strongly recommend it for everyone that needs a light box. And then we have a bunch of other goodies here. You may have already seen the art supply list, which is located at the last page of the workbook. These items are not in chronological order. They're items I think you need to get from point A to point B. Post-it brand full adhesive label tape. You may have seen it before for other purposes. For our purpose, we use it to hold our patterns, black and white patterns, to the light box so they don't move around while you're tracing. This is easily removed from your black and white pattern, and it does not tear your paper like Scotch tape will. Then let's talk pencils. We trace most of our artwork for beginners. We trace everything onto the fabric with mechanical pencils. As we get into advanced or intermediate projects, that will change based on the project that we're doing. So for the purpose of tonight, we're going to use mechanical pencils, and I've got 3 different ones for you. Big mechanical pencil is pretty easy to find. It comes in size 0.5 millimeter, 0.7 millimeter, and 0.9 millimeter. And they're just little, should have unbanned these, I forgot. Mechanical pencils. The number 9 is not recommended for tracing onto fabric. It is too heavy of a pencil lead and will cause a lot of graying in your artwork. Then my favorite all-time pencil is the PhD pencil, but they're no longer available. They were discontinued in 2007. So my new go-to all-time favorite pencil is going to be the Pentel Energized pencil. And I happen to have a purple one that looks similar to this. It's a 0.5 millimeter. It's got a nice push button. It's got an economical grip. And then it's got a little tiny eraser instead of the great big one where you can get into small details much easier. It's also available in black, blue, and pink barrels. Lisa, our studio manager, This is her favorite pencil. She's using the Faber-Castell pencil, which is kind of a economically correct triangle barrel. I'm sure you can see it or not. It's polychromatic, meaning that the lid just automatically drops as you don't have to push it. And it comes in, looks like it comes in 5 colors. And then you must have micron pens. There's all kinds of colors of micron pens that we will be using, but for the beginner project, we're using the Pigma Micron Pen 0.05 black. There are a lot of additional colors. Black that you have in your kits would look something like this. It's got a nice tip on it. You don't have to press real hard. Little felt tip. Comes in many sizes and colors. And we just started carrying the graphic pen because we're using those quite frequently in our applique projects. And a graphic pen has a larger tip on it. This is the brush. Oops. And then we have a number 1 and a number 2. I also have a number 3 that comes in various colors. Graphic pens cost more, so they cost me more, so therefore the price of them is a little higher than the micron pen. Excuse me. General's all-purpose sharpener, one of my all-time favorites. It will sharpen our pencils, colored pencils, and it will also sharpen our crayons. It's $1.99. It's not real expensive. My recommendation is for you to have more than one because you are going to be glad that you do. And then by all means, Crayola crayons. Is there another brand? Absolutely not. This is the current Crayola 120 count box. It's becoming very difficult to locate these out in stores. We do have them available currently. The project that we're doing with the mice project, we are using the 24 count box of Crayolas. We strongly recommend that you only use the box that we send you because we want you to have specific colors. And they smell so good. Oh, I smell the box. Okay, Crayola colored pencils. We were selling the 50 count. At that time, the 100 count was a short pencil, like a matte color. But now we have the 100 count full length colored pencils, and you have 100 different colors. To stabilize our fabric so that we can color on it without any movement to trace or to blend, we use Easy Steam 2 Pillon. It's a one-sided fusible, very strong, and it's sold on, we sell it by the yard on bolts. And this is the SKU. And it's a one-sided fusible. It's applied to the back of the fabric to stabilize it. You don't need any more of it than just the area that you use to cover the artwork that you're coloring in. So you don't have to go edge to edge on your fabric. The older projects we have, and we still have some workbooks that we'll call out for C. Jenkins freezer paper. It was the stabilizer we used originally. C. Jenkins freezer paper is for cold blend only. It will not hold up to the hot blend with the Dremel tool. We still carry it for our customers who do the cold process. My all-time favorite, what iron do you use? What iron do I recommend? I recommend the little Doris portable iron. It's not very large. It gets hot from tip to tip. The hottest point is where my fingers are. That's linen temperature there. The Doris is made by the Doris company, which is no longer in business. So this iron will be discontinued. Once we sell out, we will not have them again. silicone trivet. We found out in classes that if we didn't have something to set our irons on, they were burning whole patches in our table or our table coverings. So we created a silicone trivet. My son builds them for us. And your little grease iron will fit nicely on it. I don't have to worry about you laying it down, or you don't have to leave it standing up. It will be just fine like that. And so when you're working, you can pick it up and put it back down. More goodies. We absolutely need a utility brush. This is a big 3-inch brush. This is what comes in. And what happens when we're coloring on fabric is the same thing that occurs on paper, is you create crayon crumbs specifically with darker crayons. The crayon crumbs are not user friendly on fabric. You have a bad habit of going with your hand, and when you go with your hand, you have just created an unknown object on your crayon art. So we strongly recommend using a utility brush to sweep away any crayon crumbs. If you have a long arm or other purposes, be sure and mark your utility brush so it's for crayon use only. You don't want to cross-contaminate white machine oil with the crayon art. The next product we use, you have to have something to blend. We're not just coloring on fabric. The technique is about blending on fabric. So currently we are using wooden cotton swabs. They have a wooden stick, medical grade. They're 100% cotton. And this is what we use for blending. I do not recommend the cardboard stick cotton swab or the plastic lollipop stick that can be found in the dollar type stores. These are the wooden cotton swabs, 100% medical grade. Absolutely what you want to use. Then we have the Pentel High Polymer Eraser. It's a serious eraser. Doesn't have any latex in it. It will erase nicely your tracing. If you make an area, it'll erase there. It also will erase crayon if we're coloring, and it has not been heat blended. Derwent battery operated eraser. You're going to love this when we get to demonstrating the product. I traced some stuff last night and realized, oh, my paper moved. So I had to go back and erase it. This battery operated takes 2 AAA batteries, I believe it is. And it works really nicely to erase crayon that has not been heat blended. Everybody needs one. Then the all-time favorite. I was teaching classes at a local quilt shop and doing artwork for New York as well. And my hands were really, really tired. So I had called another instructor and said, hey, would you cover, I'll be there, but would you do the demo for the coloring? And she says, absolutely. I have something for you. So when I went to class that morning, I thought she would have a homemade salve or ointment or something for my hands that were hurting so bad. And she says, no, I've been trying my husband's Dremel tool on blending my crayon art. So I said, okay, I'll try it too. So I went out and bought me some Dremels. This is my favorite of the ones I purchased. They're not very big. They're very lightweight. You have to purchase a Dremel chuck, which is an adapter that holds the cotton swab. It does not come with it. I'm not sure if it makes a whole lot of noise in the video or not. You will love the Dremel tool. With the cotton on the end of the wooden cotton swab in here, and the heated friction from the cotton fabric is what will cause your crayons to melt into the wax to melt into the fibers. And it does not look colored. Then we have paper towels. We use double-sided paper towels to cover our artwork, to clean our irons. There's many purposes for the paper towels. And it's just pick a size. No secret on that. I strongly recommend that you purchase a Scotch lint roller. Pretty simple. We use it to collect the unknown off of your fabric. You've been coloring, coloring, coloring. You've been blending, blending, blending. And you've got all these little specks on everything. So before you apply an iron to it, I recommend that you're going to be rolling off any unknown crayon crumbs or specks, because when they're heated, a little tiny speck can become a very big speck, and then we have to be creative and put a bug or a doodle or something unusual there. So this is a Scotch lint roller. Then we have stitch and ditch stabilizer. If you're a quilter, you may be familiar with using this for many other purposes, creating patterns for your long arm, general sewing. We lay this on top of our crayon artwork to test to see if we blended it correctly. It's 8 inches tall, and it's got 50 yards on a roll. It's plain white tissue paper. One side is shiny, and the other side is matte. The important stuff. My son builds these, and that's why they're kind of pricey. You cannot just color on a hard surface such as a table or a clipboard. You've got to have a little cushion for the blending, for the friction in the process. So we've created and been building them for quite a while, a covered wooden board. It is, I believe, 14 by 18, and it's got a layer of batting, the black cloth. Then we have it pulled to the back and stapled. Oops, I'm probably not doing this very gracefully. Pulled to the back, stapled. Then we have non-slip and a handle. Then on the front, we have a bare thread applique pressing sheet. It is secured to the board. It's got duct tape and staples here. And when we're working on our artwork, we're going to place it here. You can see this impressions from another class. And the bare thread applique pressing sheet that we're using comes in a package. Oops. Comes in a package like this, 13 by 17. They're polygon coated. They last 5 years or longer. And then we have other goodies that we use throughout the projects. Oops. We have the Deco Color Liquid Silver Ultra Fine Pen Opaque Paint. You may have used this in other projects. It's very fine, pretty silver. You have to shake it to make it work. I'm not going to shake it for this purpose, but yes, we do use these pens for special detail. We also sell the nibs. Let me try this. The nibs for replacement nibs, because a lot of time that's where your mistake is if you didn't clean it properly and you need to replace the nib rather than a pen. And then if you're going to laundry your project when it's finished, we strongly recommend that you use Anita's Textile Medium, and it is in a liquid form, and we'll explain how to use it. We have paint pots that we recommend using. You want to be mixing it here. You cannot mix bottle to bottle or whatever the instructions are and save it, because it will have condensation in it and it will not last. And this is the brush that we use to apply it. It's a 1/2 inch roll Teflon white bristle, hard bristle brush for fabric. We carry all these supplies that we're showing you. In the event you need something, please let us know. Once you get the majority of your basic supplies, then that's all you need until you start coloring additional stuff and you need more products, replacement pens, patterns. This is weft, and I don't have a small piece to show you. The weft is a non-biased piece of fabric. It's the way it's weft has no bias. So if you are doing hand embroidery, it is strongly recommended like a stabilizer behind your hand embroidery so you don't pull through your stitches. But for our purpose, We use it to cover the fusible that's on the back of the artwork if you're going to put it into a quilt. So if you have a block that's 12.5 inches, your artwork's 10, you need a 10-inch piece of weft to cover the fusible stabilizer, the sticky part, and then you can add it to your quilt with no additional problems. And it's sold by the yard. It is 45 inches wide. Awesome stuff. Then we have pet peeve of mine. You have to have a clean iron. In the bigger projects, we do go to the bigger iron, and we'll explain how to clean the iron in those videos. However, for this purpose, we use the magic eraser, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. It's just a little white sponge. You activate it under the water when it's wet, and you clean your irons. And all your irons, little irons, big irons, should be clean with the magic sponge. I have we've got this product here, and then we got a couple older patterns we want to show you. These had been out of stock for a long time, but they are back in stock, and it is a carry-all for your colored crayons. This one, you don't have to cut the plastic inserts. They're already cut for you. If I can get it out. And I've got one over here I'm going to show you that actually has crayons organized. We sell a lot of these. Oops, maybe. Okay, so this is an organized one. Holds at least 120 crayons, plenty of room for your cotton swabs and other goodies. I can do this gracefully without dumping it. And there it is with 120 crayons. And it smells so good. That's a fresh box of crayons, by the way. Crayons do not come in a plastic container. You have to supply them yourself. Okay. Then we're going to look at the products here on the floor. Sorry. Didn't mean to have to get the floor. I'm not sure if you can see the products behind me. We'll have to do another video to capture everything that's behind me on the wall, but I do have them here in this box. The Old Texas map is one of our oldest patterns, and it's one of our #1 selling patterns. The numbers to order are always in the top right. If you watch these numbers, you're going to see that that's 293 W's in the workbook. This is another older pattern, and it's also behind me if you can see it. This is 337. Then we have a birdhouse collection. Limited number on this one because this one is no longer available. 402. Hand embroidery and coloring. Then we have wildflowers along the road trip. Again, this is a coloring and hand embroidery. It's 533. Then we have an all-time favorite that coordinated with the line of fabric I did after a long night, Western Santa. He is 631W. This is a large pattern. This is 20 by 16. Limited quantity. Then we have the Crayon Country Kiddos Special Edition. It has the black and white patterns for 13 blocks, believe it or not. This is 700. There is also a few, actually there's several in storage, of the panels available of the Crayon Country Kiddos that can be purchased. I have basic Learn to Color workbook. This one has 7 practice exercises. I have practice exercises and 7 projects. 777W. And this one takes you when you're working, it adds something new every time you do it. We have plenty of those in stock. This is one of my very um, #1 selling fabric line. So let's American Honor. This is a black and white pre-printed panel. 817W, and it's got coloring instructions for all of it. Then we were asked to do a special edition panel for Quilt Shop, Quilt Haus in, okay, I'm drawing a blank, Quilt Haus in New Brunswick. And this is the artwork from the patterns that were on that special edition fabric. There is a total of 8 blocks. There is no fabric in here. It's black and white. You have to trace it. It's a lot of work to trace that. Then on our website, I do not have a copy of it in here, but on our website there is a download, digital download for the coloring of the birdhouse fabric. And this is a birdhouse panel. I will open one and show you. It's behind me, but you're not able to see it very well. And then we only have 3 of them available. Oops, upside down's not good. I'll show you my favorite block. I love this block. It's only 3 available. The coloring instructions are digital download on the website. I want to thank you for joining us in Crowley, Texas. My name is Tana Muller, and I do hope that you will join us again for the learning how to color on fabric. Many hugs to everyone. Have a good night.